Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I've got the biggest announcement I've ever made on this channel. As of today, I'm taking leave from work for the next 3 months to do Pokemon and YouTube full time, and I'm betting it all on Pokemon Champions. And before diving into any specifics, I just wanted to say you all are the reason why this is possible. This is not an easy decision to make. It's quite scary walking away from a stable career and kind of consistency to try something completely new. But ultimately, it is one that I feel really confident in because I feel like I have incredible support from, my entire time involved in VGC. All of you that come out and say hello at events and say kind words, all of you that leave comments when I post videos, all of you that have said that I've been involved in your journey in VGC in some way, shape, or form, or just that I'm, a content creator that you enjoy watching. All of that really, really means so much to me. I don't take it for granted whatsoever. And it is why I feel like I can really do this because I have all of you behind my back. So before, starting off with anything, I just wanted to say thank you because, you guys are the reason why I get to do this and pursue one of my dreams. I started my career as just a super serious player. I've always been really, really competitive deep down, and Pokemon gave me the outlet to try to be the best at something at. It gave me something to really aspire and improve at, and from 2008 to 2017, I was competing so seriously. During that time period, I won 5 regional championships, 2 national championships, got top 4 and top 16 at nationals, and top 8, and of course, 3rd at the World Championships in 2013. I was able to accomplish a lot. The only goal I had basically left was, of course, win the World Championships, but that's everyone's dream. Only one person gets to achieve it every year. But it's still a dream that, in the back of my head, I hope one day I can kind of aspire towards once again. These days, I don't compete as much, even though throughout the last couple of years, I still show up to events here and there, but definitely don't, play at the same rigor and put in the same amount of time that I used to when I was competing, during that first time period. And in 2016, Pokemon reached out and actually hired me as a commentator for events, and I love talking about Pokemon, if you didn't know. I love educating people on the game and also sharing my enthusiasm and passion for the game with the world. And so for the last decade, I've mainly been focused as a commentator. I've been very fortunate to commentate multiple World Championship finals, have traveled the world for it, and even got to cast Pokemon's first ever arena finals in Anaheim last summer. And of course, many of you know me for being a content creator. I started this YouTube channel in 2014 when I was really just a high school kid because I love Pokemon and I love VGC, and it has changed my life for the better in so many different ways. It has allowed me to make some of my best friends today. It gave me an outlet to be super competitive in, a healthy outlet at that. It gave me the opportunity to travel the world, and ultimately, it gave me the opportunity to share myself with the world by being a content creator. I never thought I would put myself out on the internet, and I didn't have any goals when I came into any of this. I was just like, hey, I love VGC. I want other people to love VGC. I want them to have the same experiences that I've had from it. And so what better way to do that than just, teach people how to play this game at a high level. And so I've been making content for 12 years now, but during this entire journey, I've always been doing Pokemon just part-time. I never fully invested into it. And a big reason for this is because I was always really focused on my education as well as my career. I think the big reason for that is because, my parents worked really hard. They immigrated over to America to give my brother and I the educational opportunities that we had. And so I wanted to make the most out of them, whether that means studying and trying to get into the best schools, for example. I feel really lucky having been able to study at places like Columbia and Stanford, or whether it be achieving, the goals that I had career-wise and working at cool companies or, doing really interesting and cool things. And so really, I would say for the last decade, part of why I also haven't been competing as seriously was because I kind of been really focused on building out a part of my life, whether it be education, career, friends, family. And I feel like I'm finally at a point where I'm really happy with how everything is going outside of Pokemon. And I'm also lucky enough to be able to take time off work, not just have to, fully quit my job in order to do this. And so I'm essentially giving myself 3 months, what I would call effectively 100 days to go all in on this and see what we can build Cybertron VGC into. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about the goals for these next couple of months, what I'm hoping to accomplish, and what I'm trying to build out here. I think naturally, if you have been a longtime viewer of this channel, you might be a little bit concerned where the direction might be shifting really dramatically. The first thing I want to say is that is not the plan. For example, those Road to Ranked videos that you watch, an hour and a half long battle videos, I am not planning on changing that as the core product for the channel. What I, however, want to do is start making all kinds of different content cater towards anyone that might be interested in VGC. Right now, it might be a little bit daunting when you're trying to get into VGC. Someone says, hey, watch a Cybertron video, and then you click on a road to ranked and it's an hour and a half long, right? That is a lot, and I totally recognize that. Especially as someone who works full-time, I don't have the time to commit to that often, right? So what I want to do basically is make content that can really, really teach people VGC in a shorter amount of time as well. So that means 5 to 10 minute videos, for example. It means leaning into short form content as well. And it means exploring basically every avenue possible. Part of my goal in these next 3 months is to try out as much as I can and see really what lands and maybe what doesn't work out as well. And so that can be a wide range of things, whether it be streaming more, whether it be trying out all kinds of different new types of content, whether it be getting more edited content on the channel. And ultimately, my goal is like I want to on-ramp people into VGC and into Road to Rank specifically, and there's a lot of different avenues to do so, right? And so this is kind of my open invite to all of you and asking you all what you would like to see down in the comment section below. I want this channel to be like a definitive source of really good information for VGC, right? I want to provide you with accurate information. I want to provide you with top players and expertise. And I want to make content for all kinds of players on the VGC spectrum, whether it be you've never heard of the words VGC until today and you are just stepping into competitive, never bought a Pokemon game before, or maybe you are a player that has won titles before and you're looking to win the World Championships. I want to cover everything on that spectrum. And right now, I think it's a pretty narrow group that I, kind of make content for. I basically really, really want to increase that range. And of course, it's kind of self-explanatory as to why now, but it's Pokemon Champions. This is the biggest opportunity I think I might ever get in my life in terms of content. And so I want to be there for all of it. I also wanted to just briefly touch on and reflect on the last year. I feel like I'm the kind of person that really likes to give it my all and like go, get a 10 out of 10 on something. But instead, I felt like I was like trying this thing and doing all of these different things in my life. And once again, all the things that I enjoy and I'm really grateful to have, but I felt like they were maybe not the best or most effective use of my time. That's not to say that these are things that I have to completely cut out, but I think my time management over this last year was not the best, and it was partially driven by moving to a new city, starting a new job, right? Maintaining friendships in a world where now everyone's getting older as well. But at the same time, I think I generally felt like I was giving, Pokemon in general, maybe like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 instead of like a much higher standard that I would like, right? And sometimes that would lead to me taking either really long breaks from posting content or not posting at all. I do think one of the healthy things about being a creator is when you can reflect and be like, I shouldn't force myself to post anything. But I think for so much of my life, I'd always been like, all right, post a video every 2 days. It'd become part of routine. I really like having routine in my life. And so that routine basically had fallen out for the last couple of months, right? And so it's something that I'm really excited to start building up once again as we head into this next era. I do also want to touch on content creation in general and what it's like being a public figure in the VGC space, especially as we head into this next era. But first of all, I want to preface this by saying, if you are fortunate enough to make content and have people come out and watch and support your content and even be maybe lucky enough to monetize off of it or making a living off of it, it is truly one of the biggest blessings that you can have in life. I also think that often being a content creator can have its own challenges, especially for certain personality types like myself. The reality is, I hate making people upset, and as a creator, you're going to make a lot of people upset. Sometimes you're going to make them upset because your content doesn't land well on them. Sometimes it's because of who you are as a person, and sometimes it's for things that are completely out of your control, right? For the most part, I would say generally when people leave, say, like negative comments, it doesn't really get to me that much. Like, I've seen people be like, oh, Aaron's like so boring, or he's like washed, he's not like good at the game, or his content is so repetitive. And like when I see those comments, I kind of just laugh it off and like whatever. And then of course, sometimes you'll get comments about your appearance, how you look, how you sound. And those are also things where I'm like, well, okay, cool. I think the ones that do make me sad though are the ones that I feel like have genuinely upset or wronged someone, even if I didn't intend to do that, right? And this often manifests from in-person experiences that I end up having with people at live VGC events. If you've seen me at a VGC event, I really do my best to try to talk to as many people as possible, take photos, autographs, and whatnot. But sometimes there are moments where I'm maybe not in the best place to do so, right? It's times when, for example, I just lost a game, or I got eliminated from a tournament that I put a lot of time into, or it's maybe having worked a 12-hour day and I, as a commentator, and I just like want to go home and change and like lie down for a little bit, right? Or sometimes maybe something is not going well in my life outside of Pokemon, right? And I'm just not in a great headspace. And the reality is that often those can manifest into negative interactions for people, even if that's not my intent, right? Because I do try to give it my all when I am at these events to interact with as many of you all as possible. But throughout the years, I have had comments with people who are like, yeah, Aaron completely blew me off. And he was just like, not the guy that I thought he was. And obviously, like, you know, never meet your heroes. Like, in general, like, people should not kind of idolize creators overall, but I just know, like, I hate upsetting people, whether it's my friends or strangers, and I like feel really bad for leaving those negative experiences on people, right? And unfortunately, I think, like, as VGC grows and things get bigger, the likelihood of those happening is only going to be more frequent. I'm also a little bit nervous where it's like in this next era, maybe things do grow to a point where I'm not like in a place where I can like just read every YouTube comment anymore, right? And so those are challenges. Like, if we get there, I'll find ways to deal with it, but those are just some of the things on my mind, because I think that it can be tough. And like I said, my experience has overwhelmingly been like so positive, but it's even those like 1% or even like sub 1% of negative experiences or comments that like sometimes I just like feel really bad about or really sad about. And one of the things as a creator is you got to learn how to deal with these, right? And that's still something that I'm learning today. You know, it's like no one really kind of teaches you these things. It's kind of just life, right? But that's one of the main thoughts about kind of being a creator in this space. But like, I do mean it when I say like I do want everyone who like interacts with me to have as positive experience as possible. Sometimes it can just be quite challenging, especially in a VGC tournament, for example, where there ends up being a lot of people who recognize me. And the other thing that I've thought about is also like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And for now, the answer still remains to be no. I do have no idea. And sorry, when I mean no, it means like doing it full time and just dedicating my entire life to it. A reason for this is because I think like creators often end up actually not having the great balance between their work and kind of just like being able to disconnect from work. It's also challenging because as a creator, everything you do is public, right? And it's like tough when you are judged by everyone out there, right? So yeah, it's something that I've weighed on and thought about, and maybe the answer to this will change. Maybe these next few months go so well, and I'm like, it would be a disservice to not continue doing this at the output and the rate that I do. In my head, I feel like I've worked really hard to, like get the best opportunities possible outside of Pokemon as well. And there are things that I'm still really excited about. Like, I'm not just like burnt out from full-time work. I work with really great people, work on really interesting things overall. And I feel like I'm still growing and learning a lot outside of the Pokemon world, right, in my career. And so like, for that reason, it's still something that I want to do simultaneously while balancing Pokemon stuff. But because I'm lucky enough to have a couple of months to just go all in on this, I was like, well, if even having the opportunity to do this, it has to be now. It has to be when Pokemon Champions is out. I will say, overall, like, I'm cognizant of like what being a creator can do for you. And there's a lot of greats, but there's also a lot of like downsides. And that's why I think often see a lot of creators burn out and crash out, honestly, or decide like, hey, I've done my time and I don't want to ever, be public facing ever again. And it can be a little bit taxing or very, very taxing. In general, like I said, not as big of a major fear for me, knowing the kind of content I make and knowing the kind of engagement I get with all of you, but it's just something that I am mindful of. And more importantly, I'm mindful of like really trying to limit the amount of like negative experiences people have. I hate disappointing people. I hate seeing them upset, especially if it's because of something that I did that I thought, I could have done better in, right? So I just wanted to share that because it's been something that has been on my mind as well. Once again, if you have certain things that you want to see me do, let me know in the comment section below. I think one of the fun new ideas I've got is that I plan on documenting every day in this journey as I pursue Pokemon full-time during the 3-month period on my channel here at Cybertron VGC, as well as Instagram, Cybertron VGC, and TikTok, Cybertron VGC. So come follow me on those platforms and join me in this journey. But that is going to be it for this one. So thank you so much, as always, for joining me. So much exciting stuff to come. And thank you once again for allowing me to live out one of my dreams, which is to be a creator for all of you. So appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon. All right. Peace.